Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bets Unwrapped show. I'm your host at C-Money52. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Perry Aston from Unwrapped Sports. How's it going?
I mean, man, myth the legend. Like, it would have gassed me up. I love that. What's up, guys? Happy to be back. Another Power Parlay. I know we didn't hit it last time. We were close, but, I'm going in with a different mindset this time, different strategy. We're ready to go. So, pumped to be here. Pumped it's the weekend. How are you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. I'm ready to get into it. It's week 4. I got Monday off, so that means I can actually, just stay up and do things. I don't have to, be a zombie the whole day, so that's good. I'm ready to go. So just for week 4, we got the early London game. Minnesota Vikings versus New Orleans Saints. The Vikings are 3.5-point favorites now, and the total's at 41.5. Lots of injuries of note here. Jameis Winston's out. Michael Thomas is out. Kamara's still questionable. So that's
I feel like Kamara has been questionable all year.
Yeah, I mean, he got dinged up, I think, week 1 with his ribs. So, as anyone knows, rib injuries on top of being a running back, it's tough sledding right there. So,
true.
It could be a bit dicey here for the Saints. I think, looking at this game, I think everyone was kind of leaning the Vikings anyway. But at the same time, people don't want to trust Captain Kirk when when all eyes are on him. Let's put it that way. So I don't know how you feel about this game, but what are you looking at?
Are we doing Viking Saints or the Viking Saints?
Viking Saints, yeah.
So Viking Saints, I think Kirk Cousins has had an off year. I think it's the new coaching staff and the new offense and things along those lines. So I guess that's my excuse so far. I'm not big on this new Saints team. I mean, granted, Jameis Winston's hurt, but I mean, same thing with the coaching staff, transitional year. I'm going to give it to the Vikings if I got to choose one. I'm more interested in props in this game, I would say. Because I would definitely think it's going to be a little bit of a money game.
Yeah, so if we're looking at props, I mean, we got lots of options to go for here. I think right off the bat, things that kind of jump out to me is actually this Alexander Madison line. It's at 22.5. Dalvin Cook sounds like he's going to play, but I do think they might spell him a little bit more than usual. Madison at 22.5 is kind of sneaky. Receiving wise, I mean, Chris Olave is probably, one of the only options that has been targeted heavily the last couple weeks, like really heavily. 59.5 is pretty low against this Viking secondary, which is not good.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas is out. Jarvis Landry is questionable. I think he'll probably play, but at the same time, there's nothing in this Viking secondary that scares me off of playing Chris Olave in this spot.
All I will say, the only thing scaring me off from playing Olave in the spot is the change of quarterback. Not that Andy Dalton's some random backup that's not going to get the job done. Dalton's still going to be able to stretch the field. I'd be shocked if he goes under 200 yards, and he's going to be sufficient. And I'm not saying Olave's not going to have a good game. I just wouldn't take the last 3 games trends perfectly due to the fact that who knows what kind of connection Dalton has with those receivers, especially the rookie who hasn't played much with.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think that he's going to get tons of volume. I mean,
he's got 13 targets the last 2 games.
Yeah, I see him just having another 10-target game. If he's got 10 targets, I think he's good enough to get us over the line in that one. But I'm happy to look at anything else if you feel something else.
What's Olave's receptions at?
I don't have it. They didn't put it out on this one. I have.
What's Justin Jefferson's lines? Because I expect a bounce back game.
He's at 84.5 receiving, and he's at 6.5 receptions.
Both probably going to hit because it's JJF, but both lines that I love.
The other one that I looked at is you talked about Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins to throw 2 touchdowns is $1.73, which is not bad. Andy Dalton throw a pick is $1.57, so that's off the market. We can't do that.
I think the 2 touchdown bet for Kirk is a pretty good one. He's hit that in 2 out of 3 games. The only one he hasn't hit it was that atrocious game in Philly. I think he hits. I think he hits it.
All right, we're gonna put Kirk in.
What's his yardage before we hit that?
All right, his yardage is at 249.5.
He's also hit that in 2 games out of 3 as well, except the Philly game. I'm good with either of those. Whatever you feel better with. I think the yardage might be a better bet.
The yardage is better value. So
I could just see Dalvin having some weirdly good game and having 2 tubs himself or something.
I don't know. The Saints front D line is solid.
Saints secondary is solid too, though. We'll see how game script goes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Cousins over 249.5.
Yes.
And the next game we're going to go to Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 3.5-point favorites. I have no idea why. It's basically the home team. And the total in this game is 42.5. I kind of like the Titans in this game. I think if you really like them, you could probably tease them up, 6-point tease, put them at 9.5. I think that's more than enough. I think Titans can win this game outright. And then, what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, definitely a good game. I think, if anything, Tennessee is also intriguing to me, considering I think they are the better team. But also, it's been a weird up and down season for both teams. So we'll see what happens. So I would say, again, back to props is probably where my head's at with this.
Yeah, I think this is a tough game for everything. Just because we haven't really gotten a clear idea of what either of these teams really are. I think we know what Tennessee's trying to be. They just want to run the ball and then just kind of lead from the front and kind of drag it out and play a little bit uglier, things like that. But the Colts, we were about ready to leave them for dead last week, and they end up finding a way to win against the Chiefs, or more like the Chiefs find a way to lose.
Such a weird game.
Yeah, so I just don't know what we're going to get from either team. Looking at some of the props here, and we got Michael Pittman at over 5.5 receptions. Michael Pittman over 71.5 yards are intriguing. I don't like this Tennessee Titans secondary at all.
I think his receptions are intriguing too, because the 2 games he's played, he's at 9 and 8, so he's clearly a favorite target of Matt Ryan's.
And 5.5 it seems low.
I agree.
So just looking at receiving yards, I believe he's gone over that in both his games as well. Michael Pittman,
at 121 and 72. Yeah.
72. Okay. So this line opened up at 69.5. So it's been bet up a little bit. So
yeah, if anything, I like the receptions there so far more. What's Jonathan Taylor's numbers? I know he's kind of had a so-so year, but it's a divisional game, and I think they'll try and run the ball right back at him.
Yeah, he's at 91.5 is the total for rushing yards.
What's his attempts?
Rush attempts is at 20.5.
I kind of like that because, I mean, last week it was 21, and that was in a game where they were battling. And so it wasn't like they were dominating that game by any means. And the first game he had 31. So I kind of like that too, just to put that out there.
I kind of like that as well. I feel like, they haven't. I mean, they leaned on him heavily in week 1, and then they kind of went away from him. Got criticized a little bit for that.
Right.
So I could see him going over that. Derrick Henry, 19.5.
19.5 carries?
Yeah.
I think he crushes that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's too low.
Hold on, let
Uh,
me double check the numbers really quick.
yeah,
What was it? What was it again?
it's 19 and a half. I really
I
like
mean,
that.
I think they have toned it down a bit. I mean, it's 21, 13, and 20. So he has hit it in 2 out of 3 games as well. But
Yeah,
they have been passing in a lot of situations due to game script. But yeah, I think they could be winning this game. I think that if anything, to be honest, I think my gut tells me that Derrick Henry rushing prop attempt sounds the best to me so far. That or the
so we either
Pittman
Pittman.
receptions.
Yeah, I think we go Pittman receptions.
Sure.
I think it's probably the safest. They're both pretty good. I like them both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll take Pittman, and we'll go to the Chicago Bears and New York Giants. I know everyone will have many thoughts on this game. The Giants at -2.5. They are favored against the vaunted Chicago Bears. The total in this game is 39.5. And
If we are going betting on the game here,
we are
I
not
was gonna
doing
say
that.
I'm going Giants. Weirdly enough,
Yeah, see, this game scares me a little bit. I think,
so
yeah, I don't
I
know.
just want to know. I want to know Saquon's props because that man's been beasting up this year. I'm sure they're
Yeah, cool.
incredibly high.
Saquon's rushing yards is at 80.5. And I don't have rush attempts, so
He's
he's at 80.
he hit 81 last week and 72 the week before, 164 the week before that. So 2 out of 3 games, as most of
Yeah,
them have been so far.
yeah, definitely. Just I'm looking to see. Have you heard anything about Montgomery?
I just still see a questionable tag. I expect them
Oh,
to
he's out, he's out.
he's out for sure.
Yeah, so that means it's Khalil Herbert season, and I'm all about that. You know that already.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah. I just
the
don't want
guy's
to
a
bet on. I
beast.
just, I just, I just don't want to bet on him because I don't think they're going to be winning this game. And even if they
I think
are, like, I
that's
just
the
like can't
only way they
imagine.
win this game. It's the only way they win this game.
Well, I don't think they're going to win this game. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. That's my thing.
So far, I'm liking Saquon rushing a bit. What's Justin Fields rushing? Because without
He's
Monty, I
at
could see
38
him 38 and a half.
and Daniel
No,
Jones is at 31.5.
31 and a half. Ooh, I kind of love that. I saw a stat. He's actually had like I think it was like top 2 or top 3 in the last like 5 years in rushing yards from quarterbacks.
Yeah, he definitely runs.
I know he scoots, but I
Top
didn't know it was
three,
like that. Wait, so how many yards is it for him rushing?
31.5.
He's only hit that in 1 out of 3 also. It's a
Yeah, I think
reaction
it was
from
last
last week,
week.
79. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if I'm in love
You
with any
you
of these
you
yet.
want to go with
What
Saquon?
what's Richie James receptions at?
Oh God.
He's their #1 receiver this week because Wandell Robinson's out, Tony's out, Galladay might as well be out, but he's going to play anyways. And I think that's it, but he's definitely their #1
3.5.
this week. 3.5 receptions?
Yep.
Yo, smash that. Like, I mean, like, smash it. He's hit that in all 3 games. And now there's even less receivers. And Sterling Shepard went down with injury last week. He's hitting
Yep.
over 3.5. Send it. Hell yeah.
Send it. All right, we'll go. Richie James is going in. We got quite the collection of characters in our parlay so far.
I give you shit about Khalil Herbert, and then I vouched for the Richie James.
You're like, nope, Richie James. All right, we got the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Hell of a game. The Bills are favored by 3. The total in this game is 51.5. And this game is going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Sorry, the line is 2.5 now.
What's Lamar and Josh Allen's rushing yards at?
Lamar's at 54.5, and Josh Allen is at 39.5.
Why do I feel like they both are particularly low?
I think
Specifically Lamar, because Lamar's hit over 100 in the last 2 games.
I just think that the Bills, the way they play defense is they play tons of zone. They're not gonna play man. They get pressure with their front four.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll play a lot
They,
of contain as well.
they blitz the least out of anyone in the NFL. I think they're all going to be staring at Lamar at this point.
Well, Josh Allen's hit his number 2 out of 3 games as well. What are
Yeah,
their touchdowns at? Because is Josh Allen over 1.5 passing
no,
touchdowns?
no chance.
I
No,
was
it's
gonna
2.5.
say, yeah.
Lamar's at 1.5, but plus money, and he's hit that in every game so far.
Mm.
But
And the Bills secondary is a bit banged up too. They're
yeah, I
playing like
don't
all
hate that play
rookies.
because they can't run the ball outside of Lamar Jackson. This Ravens team is absolutely terrible at running the football. So I could definitely see Lamar Jackson
So
getting.
I think we zone in on some. We'll zone in on a prop around his passing, but I just want to know what's his pass yards and attempts because I feel like it's going to be a battle.
230.5. I think he's
He's
done
only
that
hit that in one.
the for week 1.
Week 2.
Josh Allen at 286.5, and he's hit that in every game. I'm pretty sure.
What about attempts for either?
Yep. We got Lamar's at 31.5. I don't think he's reached that yet. Maybe
He hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't.
Okay. Josh Allen's at 38.5.
That's a lot. He has hit that in 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
All right. So I think so far I'm liking Lamar's rather over 1.5 touchdowns or
I heard there's going to be some serious weather implications on this game. Like the total's a bit high for that. We got the hurricane coming up the coast.
Are you thinking of the under?
Yeah. I mean, Lamar Jackson hasn't hit that 31.5 pass attempts yet. I think that could be an under. I like the under in total. But we're not putting that in the Power Parlay. But I'm just saying, for those keeping score at home, I think that's a good play. Let's look at receiving yards because I don't really love what's going on with
what's Bateman receiving yards at?
Bateman's at 47.5.
He's hit that in all 3.
I like that or his receptions. I like his receptions over 3.5 just because I think
he's only hit it in 1.
I know, but just the matchup wise, I think with the Bills playing a lot of zone, I think he's going to have to sit down in holes and do a lot of that stuff. They're going to have to dink and dunk their way down the field.
I mean, dude, he's averaging like almost 30 yards per catch. That's
not
going
to work against this defense though, because they're going to be in cover 2.
Andy said there's some weather implications as well, so that could
right. So I could see short passing game.
Then what's Andrews at then? What are his numbers?
Andrews is at 5.5 receptions and yards wise, he's at 63.5.
He said both those in 2 out of 3. And his touchdown too? He's had 3 total.
Yeah, I think he probably scores another one in this one, to be honest.
I think at Andrews that might be the way to go here with what we're saying here with the short pass game, weather implications, how they're going to play cover 2 shell. I think Andrews may be a nice bet here. I think receptions may be the move.
Yeah, I'm nervous though because I think Buffalo. If I'm Buffalo, what receiver are you taking away?
Yeah, but you keep him in front of you type of thing. I could see a lot of 5-yard outs and little trying to find the pockets in the zone type of moves from him.
All right, your call. You're the guest. You get to make the call.
All right. It's going to be between that and Lamar Jackson touchdowns, and I'm a little nervous about that.
You don't think the Ravens going to score 14 points?
It's over 1.5.
Yeah.
But that doesn't count. But that doesn't count for a rushing touchdown, though.
No.
Mm.
But he scored all 12 of the Ravens touchdowns this year. In some way.
He's phenomenal. He's the MVP so far for sure.
Yeah,
all right, I'm putting it in the hands of the MVP. We're going over 1.5 tubs.
All right, there we go. Easy. And we're getting plus money on that, so it's even better.
Let's roll.
We're moving on from that game to the Chargers and the Texans. The Texans are getting 5.5 points here. The total's at 44.5. The Chargers are the same old Chargers, looks like. Disappointing as usual. Week in, week out.
They've had a lot of injuries, with the ribs of
cool.
Justin Herbert. You got Keenan now.
They were so good on paper.
Okay. Touche. Yeah, Eckler hasn't done too well either.
So we got the Texans. We got Herbert. I mean, Davis Mills. Ugh, it's kind of gross.
Yeah, man. What's I just want to hear Damon Pierce numbers. That's all I want to hear out of this game.
Damian Pierce's rushing yards at 62.5. Rush attempts is at 16.5. I'm worried about that rushing attempts number.
I think the yards would be the play out of the two because he's hit that in 2
I would
out
go
of 3.
under 16.5 rushes
You think?
from Pierce. I like it. I like the under just because last week he fumbled twice. I think they got it back twice. But then he just never saw any more carries in the fourth quarter for like the last 8 minutes of the game, and it was a close game.
He did have 20 carries. Did have 20 carries total though.
Right, in a close game.
That's true. I think they're going to be losing to the Chargers, so that could work with game script. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't totally love Dameon Pierce this week. I think
what is Mike Williams' numbers? Because Keenan's out.
He's gross, man.
And I'm just curious. He's streaky. He has one good game, one bad game. One good game, one bad game. You know how it is. So even though he had a touchdown.
If you're gonna pay the man that much money, can he get open, please?
That's true.
Mike Williams, 59.5 yards receiving, which seems low. His receptions at 4.5, which seems high.
I mean, he's only hit both those in only 1 out of 3 games. So if anything, the better bet here is touchdown. He's hit that in two out of 3. I think I'll lean on the receptions, but I don't know if I love it. Yeah, I don't know if I love it. All right, under rushes. Let's do it.
Under 16.5 rush attempts for Dameon Pierce in this game, as we think the Chargers finally right the ship and find a way to win that game. So the next game we're going to is going to be the Seattle Seahawks and Detroit Lions. Tons of injuries for the Lions. This is at 3.5 still. The Seahawks are getting 3.5 points on the road. The total's at 47.5. Is this just Jamal Williams or bust?
Yeah. I literally was going to say, show me Jamal. He's got to do those hip thrusts last week. That's worth betting on.
I mean, I swear he did it like the week
what's
before.
What's over under on hip thrusts? Is it 3? 3.5?
It's got to be 2.5. Yeah, 2.5, I think.
Oh, we smashed that. All right. I think Jamal Williams scores in this game, personally.
I do too. 66.5 yards seems low.
He's hit that in 1 out of 3, but Swift's also been there in majority
Swift's
of
out.
them. Yeah.
I'm on. All these guys are out, man. It's tough. It's tough sledding out there for Detroit right now. They got. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. DeAndre Swift's out. DJ Shark is out.
I want to see some Hawkinson numbers for sure.
Hawkinson did full practice on Friday.
He's playing. He doesn't even have a questionable tag.
Josh Reynolds was limited on Friday, so he would have been like a sneaky play. Who'd you ask for? Hawkinson receiving yards
Yeah.
at 45.5.
And what about receptions?
4.5.
Although he hasn't hit that in either game, I'm kind of loving that receptions. I mean, Amon-Ra is that safety blanket for him, and Hawkinson was before that, and he still hit 4.33 so far. I think you take away Amon-Ra's 6 or 7 receptions he's been getting every game. I think Hawkinson hits 5 or 6.
Don't love it.
You can keep looking.
I'm trying to look up Jamal Williams stats without DeAndre Swift in the lineup. But I just think this game, I don't think it's going to get away from the lines. You know what I mean? Where they have to abandon the run or something or anything like that.
I just don't know with the injuries. We'll see. Without Swift and Amon-Ra, is this team good?
No. Short answer.
So I mean they've been really exciting this year. Don't get me wrong, and one of the most explosive teams in the league. But those are two of their most explosive weapons. And then they got Goff, Jamal Williams, DJ Chark, and Josh Reynolds.
In the 2 games without DeAndre Swift last year, Jamal Williams had 17 carries for 71 and 19 carries for 77 against the Vikings and the Falcons. So the Seattle defense.
And he had 87 last week too. Let's roll. Jamal yards.
Jamal Williams over 66.5 yards.
Jamal country. Let's ride.
Let's go. The Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are paying $1.54 on the money line. They are 3.5-point favorites against Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. The total's at 41.5. Ooh, that's all I have to say about this game. I don't know what to expect from this Jets offense now. I kind of want to see it first with Zach Wilson. His passing yard is at 208.5. That is low. Zach Wilson passing TDs is at 0.5.
That's kind of sexy.
Yeah, but it's only $1.40 for the over. So
I was gonna say I could see him throwing 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions his first game back.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Longest pass is interesting at 33.5. I think those are fun props to play, but I know you're not gonna like this, but I like Najee Harris under 88.5 rushing and receiving yards. I'm pretty sure that's come through every single game this year.
So under 88 rushing and receiving?
88.5.
Rushing and receiving combined?
Yeah. The line opened up at 90.5. So I know the 90.5 has 100% gone under.
I was gonna say this one's been 2 out of 3. It's gone under
88.5.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I could just see the Jets. I really could see them pulling away in this game and leaning on the rush.
So
Najee's just bound to have somewhat of a breakout game soon. And I'm not saying to bet on his overs. I'm just weary of betting on his unders, if that makes sense.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Najee.
I know.
You know my feelings on Najee. Now, looking at so far, he's had 15 carries? Oh, sorry. No, that's wrong. Oh, that's right.
Quote me now, and I'm not saying put it in the Power Parlay, but my gut is screaming Chase Claypool touchdown this game.
Yeah, I like that as well. I think that's a
just screaming. Yeah, I put him in a fantasy line. I was just debating him and someone else that I probably should have put in instead, but I was just like, nah, it's Claypool touchdown week.
I could definitely see that. Just on a reverse or a screen or something.
Yeah, some sort.
On.
What are his receptions at? Is it over 3.5?
Claypool.
Yeah.
Receptions. Oh, I already found our play. Never mind. um, looking through here. I don't think I have Claypool receptions. Oh yeah, I do. It's at 3.5.
He said it in 2 out of 3, and my gut is screaming Claypool for some weird reason. So I'm gonna
Well,
say
your
it
gut
now.
should be
I'm gonna say it now on air, so that when he does score a touchdown, you hit me in the WhatsApp, and you're like, "Yo, Claypool touchdown, good call." Yeah.
your gut should be screaming Tyler Conklin over 3.5 receptions. That's what it should be.
Hey,
Screaming.
that's pretty hot. Yeah.
It is, and we're getting and it's plus money.
I will say,
People,
I think Uzama's back. Not that I'm saying that's a scary thing for Conklin's receiving yards, and I'm also saying it's not Flacco anymore. So those are just two comments I'll make to why these trends may be a little muddy, but we'll see.
I know, but they didn't really move his line now for that reason. You know what I mean? Because
So it's at 3.5.
right, he had 8.
I mean, he's hit it in all 3.
And
Yeah,
4, 8, 6, and 4. The last
he's
3
hitting in
games.
all 3. Yeah, and what's his yards at 27.5? Am I saying that correctly? That's what's on my phone.
28.5 now.
I have a 27.5 here. He's hit that in 2 out of 3 also. All right, yeah. So I'm cool with sending the over on receptions. I think the over on receptions for Claypool or him hits. Conklin's hit it in 3 out of 3. Claypool's hit it in 2 out of 3. So for that math, Conklin's the better bet.
Well, it's just that we're playing with the unknown, but we're also getting value because of it. So, well, we're about value here. We're going to take the value. Put Tyler
Conklin, baby. Let's roll. Let's roll.
It's gotten weird enough already on this podcast.
Not the sexiest pick, but let's roll.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 6.5
Let me stop you to say that this is the game of the week for me. It is right there with Ravens and Bills, so don't think I forgot about that game. That's obviously up there too. But this is that, we said it the last time I was on here, there was that dark horse game of the week. This is that dark horse game of the week. It is going to be high scoring, exciting. I think it's going to be great. Doug Peterson, revenge game, coming back, playing the Eagles. I think Christian Kirk is an absolute must start in every fantasy league right now. Look at his numbers. It's getting ridiculous. He's, again, a guy we're going to be definitely looking at this time. He hit the last time we put him in. It's a very exciting matchup to me. And I'm going to be rooting for the Jags the whole way as a Cowboys fan, obviously. But, go Eagles. I got respect for the Eagles. I've always thought Hurts was good. I've always thought, I don't hate them as much as the Giants.
Are you laughing on the That's Unwrapped podcast right now?
A little bit. Yeah. just in case Christian's watching.
All right. So this game, I do love this game as well. I think
we got some comments, by the way. Dava Kitten 16 morning. She's definitely where you're at. It's evening where I'm at. But good morning, girl. I can have coffee any time of the day, so we can cheers one up together. D Dottie, the Grussel. That's a dope word. That's a dope word. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody use that word before. That's pretty cool.
We'll take it.
Appreciate it.
So with this Jaguars team, I think they're going to be able to put some pressure on Jalen Hurts. Both these teams haven't really had to do much in the second halves of games because they're dominating.
Yeah.
I don't think the Eagles have scored a second half touchdown in 2 games, which is crazy.
So I'm curious about the rushing yards for both quarterbacks, because I think you're right. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure from both teams, because I think the D-line from the Eagles is good too.
You're going to like one from more than another. And Jalen Hurts is at 49.5. So that's
pretty solid.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2 out of 3 he's hit.
And if this game is like it's supposed to be, expected to be close, like Jalen Hurts is still, like when teams blitz him, he's still running. Like he's
for sure. And I think T-Law is starting to become more like that too. because he threw the ball away so much last year or took the sack. And I feel like this year he's definitely become more aggressive in extending plays and not just kind of pussing out of it. So I think it's going to be – I kind of love that Hurts rushing, but I'd love to hear Christian Kirk's numbers too. He's like by far T-Law's favorite guy.
Yeah, Christian Kirk's number, it opened up lower than it is now. It is currently 62.5.
He's hit that in all three. And receptions,
Yep.
Is it 5.5 for receptions?
He is at 5.5.
He's hit that in all three also. So and I think it's a shootout. So if Kirk's numbers are going down, I don't think it's tomorrow.
Is it not Zay Jones season again?
Zay Jones. I love a good finger roll, but Kirk to the moon.
You like Christian Kirk in this game, or do you want to go rushing yards, or do you want to do both?
I was gonna say I would say we put both, and that way we can pass on a game if we think it's too gross to bet on.
So you want Hurts rushing yards or Trevor Lawrence at 12.5?
You said Trevor Lawrence at 12.5?
Yeah.
No, we're staying away from that one. I think we go Hurts and Kirk.
Hurts and Kirk.
It's like a TV show.
Or a lawyer firm.
Absolutely. You're so right. You're so right. It says Ed Company. Or associates for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We got the Cleveland Browns and the Atlanta Falcons. The Browns are 1.5 point favorites in this game. The total's at 47.5. I bet that's total down from 49.5, but most people are on the over.
Yeah, I would be if I had to pick one.
People really think both offenses have been really efficient this year.
And the Falcons are the worst defense in the league. They give up the most points. So
yeah. I mean, Nick Chubb should have a day. He's currently at 91.5. That's been, I think that went up like 4 yards. He was at 87.5 and it opened, 88.5.
What is it right now?
91.5.
What's his attempts at?
I don't have attempts, unfortunately.
Yes. You see, weirdly enough, I get a weird hunch that Kareem Hunt gets involved this game a bit. What's his numbers at?
44.5 rushing and 63.5 rushing and receiving.
63.5 rushing and receiving. 63. Let's see. I think he's hit that second one 2 out of 3. He's hit the rush yards all 3. I think Kareem Hunt rushing yards is my favorite so far. I'd love to hear Amari Cooper numbers because he has been absolutely balling out. Absolutely balling. I love my boy.
We're gonna skip Amari Cooper. That's what we're gonna do.
I don't give a shit that he's in Cleveland. That's fucking shithole of a place. Like, go Coop. I love the guy. What a guy. Coop.
Cooper's at 59.5.
That's wet. He's hit that in the last 2 games. He hit 101 both games, and scored a touchdown both games. What's his receptions at?
He's at 4.5. We're not touching that because it's heavily juiced over.
Yeah, I was gonna say
$1.60.
Okay, so I like his receiving yards too.
I like Drake London's receiving yards as well, and Kyle Pitts is at 55.5. Drake London's at 56.5.
Drake London's 56.5. He's hit that.
Even though he hurt my soul last week because I think he missed it by 2 yards.
Yeah, he did. What's his receptions at?
Drake London's at 4.5. Pitts is at 4.5. I think Pitts scores in this game as well.
You think so?
Yeah, he's due.
That's your video clip? Of me being like that nice call?
Yeah,
I'm with it. See, Pitts is just a play that I would like to not play just because I agree with you. I think he is due. But 2 out of the 3 games have been atrocious. And last game is much better. But Drake London's been pretty A1 all season, and they're going to be losing this game or battling in this game. No way I see Falcons blowing them out. So I think so far I like Drake London probably the best, and Kareem Hunt rushing yards the best. Kareem Hunt rushing yards has hit 3 out of 3. So out of all the ones I'm debating, that's the one that trends.
100% hit rate is what you're saying. That's all I'm hearing.
Yes, right. and I think they're going to be winning, so they're not going to give Chubb every carry. Kareem Hunt's had at least 10 carries in every game.
Well, let's keep it simple. Let's just put Kareem Hunt in.
KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, let's move on. Kareem Hunt's in, and we're going to go to the Washington Seawards versus your Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are $1.60 on the money line. They are 3-point favorites in this game. The total's at 41.5. And Cooper Rush to the moon. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
To the moon, baby. People were just hating on him. I said he was a solid backup. I've been saying this the whole time. Solid backup.
All right, Carson Wentz interception. Yes. $1.57. That's a lock.
I was going to say that's nice. Curtis Samuel numbers I'd like to look at.
Yeah, of course. Curtis Samuel's at 45.5 yards receiving. I think he's still at 4.5 catches.
You said 45 and a half?
45.5.
He's hit that in all 3. And is there one that shows receiving and rushing together?
For him?
Because his is interesting.
No, I don't get that on this one.
It's because it's too money. Your book's too smart.
Yeah, it's an
absolute lock. Okay, what is?
This is your team, man. You have the most insight.
I know, but it's just so. But I'm hating it right now because we have. Well, I'm loving it. Well, Michael Gallup's coming back, and that muddies things up. And
44.5 for Michael Gallup.
But you see, that's the thing. I do think he comes in strong. It's not just him coming back from injury. It's him coming back from injury with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Dak and him have a super connection. And I'm also not sure if Dalton Schultz is playing or not yet. He's still questionable. So that definitely changed my mind on a lot of things. If you remove him from the game plan, the tight ends there, Jake Ferguson and like Vanderscoot, I think is his name. Or some guy, Hendershot. Hendershot. Yeah, I remember I was watching it. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I was like, let's go Hendershot. Yeah. And I'm a guy, I know pretty deep in the depth charts. You know me, like I'm a nerd like that. Out of nowhere, it was just like Hendershot hurdled a guy. I literally looked at my dog and I was like, Hendershot to the moon. Like let's roll. So again, that does hurt my thinking in the pass game a little bit. So I guess we can look up Cooper Rush. The Temps is probably the one I like the most, if depending on the number. Because I think it's gonna be a game. Depending on what it's at. Dude, he's put up 31 the last 2 games. Rush is passing, bro. And I don't think we're gonna blow out the Commanders. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I hope we're gonna win, but I don't think they're gonna.
31.5 is the number, though.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Carson Wentz 35.5.
Wentz 35.5. You said?
I think he's gone over that 2 out of 3.
He's at all 3. 41, 46, and 43. Good Lord, this guy's arm's falling off by his bye week.
All right, we got
crazy. That's 100% success rate.
Yeah, that's 100% success rate. I like Carson Wentz to throw it that many times. I don't think he'll complete very many, and he'll probably complete some for the other team.
So what is Pollard rush yards at and Zeke rush yards at?
So Pollard is at. He's at 42.5, and Zeke is at 55.5.
Pollard's hit that in 2 out of 3. Does Pollard have one that's rushing and receiving?
Yes, he does. Pollard has 57.5 for that.
57.5.
He didn't catch anything last game, did he?
No, he didn't. He went
So
off
that's
the
like,
week before.
no, yes, no.
He went off the week before. Well,
Yeah.
so he's hit 2 out of 3 games. He's hit that rush yards. I think if we're going with 100% success rate, I think we're going Wentz attempts.
Okay.
Because I think it's going to be a game, or the Cowboys are going to be winning. If the Commies are going to be winning, I'm going to be a little shocked. But it's also the Cowboys with a backup quarterback, so I'm not going to get too confident.
Fair enough. Carson Wentz goes into this weird ass power parlay we got going on right now. So there you go.
Welcome, Wentz. Welcome,
He
buddy.
fits perfectly. We got Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are getting 1.5 points now at home, and the total's at 43.5. I really like the over in this game. There's like this weird head-to-head stuff with the Cardinals and Panthers.
What's the over?
43.5.
That's pretty solid.
I
just want to know. I just want to know what Hollywood Brown was eating before last game, because 14 receptions is more than some receivers have in a season. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about him. If he's at like 4.5 or 5.5,
5.5.
He's hit that in the last 2 weeks. The week before
Plus
that,
money.
he had 4. He's had 6 and 14. The last 2 games, he's had 11 targets and 17. You know that they went to college together, so that's like his guy.
So keep rolling.
I think they keep rolling personally. I just remember watching last game being like, holy shit, like somebody guard Hollywood Brown. Like this is this is like Michael Thomas 2 years ago is what it felt like.
All right. Well, we can I don't mind putting Hollywood in. We can put Hollywood in and end this right now.
Let's roll.
All right.
I'm in the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, so we're representing. Let's do it.
All right. We're moving on from that game. Very simple. Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 2.5 point favorites in this game. The total's at 45.5.
Raiders are winning.
Raiders going to win?
My gut's just screaming it. Not that we have to do in the Power Parlay. It's just screaming. Like they're not. I don't see him going 0-4. And yeah, I think Derek Carr is coming in with a chip on his fucking shoulder. I also want to see Matt Collins' numbers, because he looked like the best receiver on the planet Earth last game.
I hit that last week. I had him over 2.5 receptions. So
that was probably the best bet you ever made in your life.
It's 3.5 this week at $1.60, so we're not getting the same value that we got last week.
Definitely not. What's Carr's numbers at? Like attempts, completions, yards? Because I think it's a shootout.
Carr's yards at 270.5. His completions at 24.5, and his attempts is at 36.5.
The first 2 you said, 2 out of 3 attempts, he's hitting all 3 games.
So you think they chuck it around? I mean, if they,
I do, but the Broncos are gross. Like they are trying to eat the clock away for some weird reason. Like they're not trying to be a fast-paced team. So I can see them eating a large amount of time of possession, which would, I don't know. But yes, it's a success rate of 100%. So far, that's our winner. So far.
I do like Cortland Sutton over 4.5 receptions in this game.
Yeah, he's been really clicking the last 2 games. I can see that. For sure. Yeah, I like that one a lot too. It was 4.5, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only game he didn't hit it week 1, it was 4. Yeah, I kind of love that. He's seen double-digit targets the last 2 games.
So that's probably my favorite.
Let's do that, just because although Carr has 100% success rate, the Broncos are super fucking weird. So
the Broncos defense is where it's at. Like, I think that's what's been winning them these games. So they have won. So
yeah, it's defense in the run game. They're just chewing up time of possession and then giving the ball back to their D.
Feel bad for the Broncos faithful for that trade. Sorry about it.
Hackett season. I think that's the problem here. I think he needs to buy a nice Rolex.
I don't know.
So
We've seen this.
so we could tell time.
We've seen this story from Russell Wilson for too long now.
Just let him cook. Like, at least give him an air fryer.
Let him cook. He just can't cook. He can't cook.
Give him an air fryer at least. You know, it doesn't have to be gourmet cook. Like, give him an air fryer. You can whip up some nice shit with that. Let's see him roll. Like, it hasn't been like that this year. It's been the Javonte and Melvin Gordon show.
I think you have this weird fantasy about what Wilson really is these days. I don't think he's that.
I guess.
The New England Patriots, speaking about weird fantasy and what they think they are, my New England Patriots versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers
Brian Hoyer.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
To the moon.
9.5 point under favorites in this game. The total's at 39.5.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Packers are fucking crushing you guys this game. I'm sorry. I cannot imagine.
Whoa.
Like I was watching Colin Cowherd being like, "Oh, well, I think the Patriots cover in this game. In fact, I think they win." In my head, I was like, not like what has this season told you that they would be competitive in this game with Mac Jones, let alone without Mac Jones, in my opinion. Like I just feel like
I think they'll be competitive.
I think this is a 14 to 17 point win for the Packers.
I do not see that. But
it's Bill Belichick's fault. He just refuses to get help, like correct help. He just he enjoys seeing people put in the wrong position. Like, oh, Matt Patricia, you hate calling plays. Here's a play sheet.
Well, the offense. The offensive, the way it's being called, it hasn't been the issue. It's been the turnovers is the issue, and that's a Matt. Like that game, even last week, they were in the game. And then
here's what I will say. I'm interested in the two running backs for the Patriots this game because I think they're going to lean on them heavily, specifically Ramondre Stevenson receptions, because I think this is dump down city this week.
Well, I like Ramondre. I think he's a better running back. He's at 45.5 yards rushing. Receiving wise, he's at 14.5 yards.
Receiving wise, he's at 14.5 yards. I see it happening because he hit it last week. Yes, he's hit it in 1 out of 3. But what's his receptions at? Is it 1.5?
Don't even have it. That's all. I'm guessing it would be 1.5.
I would have smashed that.
Devontae Parker, 3.5 over.
Parker.
I'm joking. I'm half joking.
It depends if Jacoby's playing.
He's not. Jacoby's out.
He's out. I mean, again, I just don't know what to make of a Brian Hoyer-led offense until I see it.
You know what? I think it's not going to look much different than Mac Jones-led offense. How about that?
You know, that's more of an insult to Mac Jones than a compliment to Brian Hoyer.
That's fine. Mac Jones has not been good. He's been a bottom 5 quarterback all year, so I'm cool with that.
That's funny. All right, well, on the contrary, what about the Packers props?
Yep, Packers props. We got Aaron Jones at 57.5 yards rushing, which seems low to me. A.J. Dillon at 52.5 yards rushing. And then you got these receivers who I'm really not ready to put anywhere.
So what's Jones? Jones is at what for rushing?
57.5.
Does he have one for rushing and receiving?
Yes, he does. He's got 83.5 for both.
83.5. Yeah, I mean, the rushing number is just a reactionary number to last game with 36, but he was going against Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I mean, you're the Patriots fan, so I'm leaving this one to you.
Oh, how dare you.
They have a pretty solid rush defense, right?
Yeah, they've been playing well, actually. It's been quite surprising, actually. I thought they would be a little bit worse on that end, but they've been really good. Hunter Henry over 19.5 yards receiving.
It's in line with my dump down city thought process.
Well, I think if anyone can get the ball to tight ends, it's gonna be Brian Hoyer because that's what he's.
Oh, for sure. But I will say Hunter Henry's been non-existent this year, so.
That is also correct. Ramondre, 45.5 rushing, I think, is a fair one.
Is
Or
it?
9.5 rushing attempts.
I was gonna say, like, is it like Stevenson? Like, is not a bad back, but he also like it's been a pretty clear. It's been a pretty clear split. So like the rushing yards for Harris or Stevenson
last
makes
week.
me nervous.
Last week it wasn't so much. It was
Yes, it
clear.
was. Yes, it was. It was totally split still. It was
Ramondre,
it was 12 attempts for Ramondre, 11 for fucking Harris. It's so split down the middle. And they're each getting 2 or 3 receptions. Yeah, no, they do. Totally a time swap.
Yeah, they swapped out every possession.
I'm not in disagreement with you. It just makes the rushing yards a scary bet because it's like it depends on how that drive is going. And I don't think they're going to be winning.
You don't think they're going to be winning, but
dude, like, don't do that. I'm not saying the Packers are like the best team in the world right now.
Have you seen the Packers offense?
I know, but I just feel like
what they do against the Bears.
Aaron Rodgers is about to come craft you up for sure.
To who?
It's just he's due. He's due.
He's due. I'm not playing the he's due game.
He's due.
All right. I don't know what to do.
I think we skipped this game because we went with 2 in one of the games. This is our skip. Unless you want to because you're a Patriots fan.
How dare you? Oh, you know what? I'm going to put Aaron Jones in. There you go.
Which one? His rushing?
Yep.
To the moon.
You said they're going to be winning. They're going to be running.
Let's go.
There we go. Boom. All right. Sunday night, Kansas City Chiefs at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 1.5 point favorites. The total's at 46.5. And what do we like in this game other than the under?
So Fournette hurt us last time.
Oh, there's no way I'm taking Fournette anywhere near this.
I was gonna say. So after that, he's out of this. Like, he can't burn us twice. I'm sorry. Like,
no,
so Lenny's out. I don't love betting on the Bucs right now, just because I don't know who's healthy on a given week. Yep. So I feel like the Chiefs are the bet here.
We could play it super safe and do like Kelsey 60 plus.
Did he even hit that last week? Because I think he lost my. Yeah, he had 58. I had I bet it down last week like 62 and a half, and I was like, oh, you fucking asshole. He is due for over a 50-yard game because that's been the last 2 weeks, and this is Kelsey we're talking about. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
He's been crushing his props.
Yeah. What's his number? What's his numbers at?
Just I was looking at something else, but he's hit his receiving yards 3 out of 3 games. That was at 17.5 though.
Yeah, let's. I mean, he's doubled that in every. He's doubled or tripled that in every game. I just don't understand why we wouldn't hit that. What's changed?
All right, CH over 17.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, it's 32, 44, and 39. It's like not even close.
All right. That's
Can you look at his line last week was so funny. 7 attempts on the ground for 0 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, not exactly what you're looking for, but that's all right. We don't need him to run. We just need him to catch the ball.
That gets it done in fantasy.
The Rams at the 49ers. The 49ers are 1.5 point favorites. The total's at 42.5. So our last game, props wise, we got Stafford, we got Jimmy G, we got rushing props, we got Cam Akers, Jeff Wilson, Debo, and
let's talk Jeff Wilson because I mean he's been pretty sturdy.
Yeah, he's at 55.5 yards rushing.
55.5. He's hitting 2 out of 3. What's attempts?
We don't have attempts. It's Monday night, so we're limited.
Got it. Does he have a rushing and receiving combination?
Nope. Debo does, though. That's way too high.
That's not.
Debo rushing receivings at 89.5.
What's Kittle at?
Oh no, we're not doing Kittle. 42.5.
What about receptions? Because that's Jimmy G.
Only receptions I have right now is Cooper Kupp at 8.5.
That's stupid. hell no. Don't even. That book thinks he's sly. Putting 8.5.
His yards are 93.5.
I'm just a
What
little
about
more
Higbee?
receptive.
How do you feel about Higbee?
Let me look at his stats. What's he at?
He's currently at 42.5.
2 out of 3 games, and the only one he didn't hit was 39 yards in week 1. What's his receptions? If it's 3.5, we're smashing it to the moon.
We have no receptions.
Damn. Well, yeah, the yards, that's 2 out of 3, and the one that didn't hit's pretty close. So that one's a pretty solid bet so far. All right, what about Garoppolo attempts? Because I do think they're going to be losing.
28.5.
1 out of 2 games. He hit it last game. But that was also the one game that he played fully. The game before he didn't play full.
What about Garoppolo interception?
Against the Rams, it's a pretty solid bet. So that 1 out of 2.
Yes is paying $1.91.
What about Stafford's lines? What is he?
Stafford pass attempts is at 34.5.
2 out of 3.
Completions 23.5.
2 out of 3.
And yards is 250.5.
1 out of 3. And touchdowns 1.5. I'm assuming. I mean, Stafford interceptions is always a good bet too.
Stafford what?
Stafford interceptions always a good bet too. Man led the league last year.
Oh, 77.
I kind of like attempts.
For Stafford?
Kinda. The only times he didn't hit attempts or yards was last week against the Cardinals, and that was just a particularly bad game for them.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball on this 49ers team. So I could see them chucking it around a bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to go Matthew Stafford over 34.5.
Stafford over 34.5. I'm doing one last double check. Yes, let's roll.
All right, cool. So that will do it. We're up to $25,138.77. So $5 gets us to $125K and $125,693 to be exact.
Don't leave out any dollars on there. I want them all. It's paying for lunch for anyone watching too. Yeah, we got you.
we got you. All right, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show. We're getting through this and putting out as many weirdos we could put on Power Parlay. You know, sometimes that's what you need. You just need a little bit different view, different look at it. So appreciate you coming on.
Weirdo is always the way to go. I feel like that's the fun part of the Power Parlay. You know, next time I come on, we're putting like Kyle Juszczyk or some weird shit on there for sure.
Yeah, anytime. We just do anytime touchdown one. Just like millions of dollars. All right, man. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out at Unwrapped Sports in all the podcasts and shows that we do. And we'll talk to you guys soon.